Hey, John. Glad you're back.
Hey, sorry about that. All I did was set my headset down, and I lost the whole thing. Okay, so where do you want to start? I'll
Well,
do my best.
for
I'll
the
do
sake
my
of,
best. I was gonna say I'll do my best. It's
yeah,
been
thank you,
20
John.
years.
Well, thank you a lot. Thank you a lot.
Okay, go. Sorry about that. Go.
Thank you a lot. Okay, so let's start simple, casual. Tell us the story that you told me about how you got first hired at Eidetic, the agent who approached you, if I remember correctly.
I had a friend who was a casting agent, and me and a couple of friends, and she was with us. We're at lunch, and she just asked me if because I had been in radio, and she had asked me if I ever thought of doing voice acting, and I said, "Man, not really." And then she told me about this part. She had me stop by her office the next day and pick up the sides. And honestly, I read all the parts, and I wanted the bad guy part because it's a Jack Nicholson sounding voice. But she said no, stay with the lead. Try for the lead because there could be additional installments of the game. Okay, so I that's how I got it. She set up the audition for me, and I went down and auditioned and got the part.
One time we found a guy named John Chacon, and he was an MMA fighter, and they said that this MMA fighter is the voice of Gabe Logan. And we actually tried to connect with him, but he was nowhere to be found.
Well, I didn't know I
It's been
was
a
such
mystery forever.
an elusive individual, but I do know there's like a quadrillion John Chacons out there. On the audition, on the day of the audition, there was about 50. I want to say 50 or 60 of us. And number could be less, uh, 40 to 60. And we all got there at the call time, and then they put us in a room full of PlayStations, and they just started calling us one by one. Um, I would say at least half that group was trying out for the lead. We just were given the same sides that my casting agent friend gave me, and we just sat there. It was like you're being interrogated. There was a light on you, a chair. The director or the producer, engineer, whatever, he was off to one side. There was a couch with like five people on it, and when they say action, you just started reading.
Very interesting. Yeah.
And I was
So,
in the
John,
yeah
oh, I'm sorry, go on.
yeah. Oh, I was gonna say I was in the waiting room for a good 30 or 40 minutes just playing games. They called me a few times, but I just would pass it because I didn't have a PlayStation at home, so I was really enjoying the game I was playing. But I was also doing that to notice how long it took people to do the audition, and it usually took about 5 minutes. I'd see them go back, then walk out, go back, walk out. When I actually did the audition, I was in there for about 30 minutes. I kind of knew at the end of
Was
that I
that
got what I.
was that in Bend, Oregon? Did you go to Oregon?
No, this was all in oh, what's the name of that town? It's in California. It's just south of San Francisco. Foster City. That yeah. To this day, I have never met any of my co-actors on that project. I was in a sound booth room with the script and a microphone, and the director would tell me what lines we're reading. We I'd read one line, and he'd say, "Okay, change this word." Okay, so we change one word, do it this way, do it that way, do it this way, and then he'd say, "Okay, next line."
So can I ask, the voice of Gabe? It's different from your voice. Did they ask you to change your voice and make it like have more gravel in it, and like, or was it your
They
natural voice?
they didn't give me any hint as to what they wanted. The only hint I got was I was told by my casting director friend that they were looking at Harrison Ford for the part. So I rented a bunch of Harrison
Interesting.
Ford movies. I rented a bunch of Harrison Ford movies that night. Went over to my dad's house and we watched movies. And at the end of like a 6 hour watching, he says, "What did you get?" And I said, "There's nothing unique about his voice. He enunciates most of his words. That's it." So I really didn't know what I was going to give him until they said action. And I just went with what I call a bad Batman, Dirty Harry voice or a cool car commercial voice.
I always thought that Gabe sounded like Batman. That was always
Yeah,
on my mind.
that's what I went with. It's all I had. It's like, okay, I have nothing to pitch here. Let's do this. And then when I read the first set of lines, I heard it was the whole room was silent, and I heard a very quiet wow. from the couch of the judges, and I had to ask, well, is that a good wow or a bad wow?
Obviously, it's a good wow.
And then, what was really fun is I have never played I was only on it for on games 1, 2, and 3. After that, Sony and I had a falling out over some money, and so I had moved on. And they got to the next guy to do me, and it was really weird when I finally listened to the game, because I heard a guy doing a bad imitation of me, doing a bad imitation of Batman. Yeah, I did. There was a discrepancy over some money. They had asked me to come in, and on the third one, we had to do some pickup lines, and I was there for like 5 or 6 minutes, and that was it. And whoever was the engineer at that time, he just had me fill out a time card, and it was a minimum of like 4 hours, and I felt bad taking 4 hours for 5 minutes. I've been told him, don't worry about it, forget it, it's 5 minutes, who cares? And he said, no, if you come in here, you got to get paid. And they wouldn't pay. Even through the argument, I told them, well, just pay me for the 5 minutes. I'm good with that. What is it, $20? And nope, they refused. Sony refused. And it's like, you know what, guys? I'm going to take you to the labor commissioner to keep this up, and the actors union. So I guess after that, they just didn't want to use me anymore. That's the whole reason. It was I always joke. I say it was a discrepancy over $20. That's when Sony had completely taken over 989.
Yeah, Syphon Filter 3 has it doesn't have 989 Studios logo. It's straight
no, it
Sony.
doesn't. And speaking of Syphon Filter 3, I had asked, I forgot who it was, but I had asked, can I submit a script for the third one? And they accepted it, but they didn't use it. So,
what was it about?
It was completely different. I mean, I don't remember the details now, but I had Gabe Logan doing rappelling and all sorts of more action stuff, and the script that the in between movies. So, but I asked if I could submit it, and they said sure. So I went ahead, and they didn't use it, but that happens. And I mean, the guy, I forget who it was, but like I said, he said I could do it. I gave him it, so maybe it didn't go anywhere past his desk. I don't know. Maybe it was just doing it to humor me, but whatever. It was fun.
Yeah, well, the new guy James, he's a professional actor, but he does imitations a lot. That's why he sounds like he's imitating you, because that's exactly what he's doing. And there's been a lot of it's been divisive. Like, some people say we prefer John, some people say we prefer James. I like both, but for me, Gabe Logan is always the original voice that I heard in the first game. It left a good impression on me.
Well, thank you. It was weird. I mean, I didn't even think that I had a following until, I want to say, when did I move out here? 2007, when I moved out to the Midwest. I was online, and I went to YouTube because I wanted to show a friend of mine the commercial I did, and I step into this world of people doing tributes to me, and the cut scenes go and all this, and I start reading all the reviews, and yeah, some people love me, some people hate me. One guy even said I have no business acting. I got the check, I paid. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I contacted the guy who made that video, and because I just commented, I said, hey, that's a great video, good job. And we got to chatting online. I think he's in England or something like that. But he wanted me to call his phone and leave his greeting in the voice of Gabe Logan. I told him I really can't do that because I don't own that character. And the last thing I need is to be sued by Sony. I'm so impressed that the people. I mean, I run into people on the street. I mean, I moved out here. I started going to a church, and half the pastoral team knows about Syphon Filter. And they're like, you did the voice? Oh, well, yeah. Here's my ID. You give me the booklet. I'll sign it.
Wow. So, John, here's one of the questions from the fans, from the community. They say, if there were different circumstances, like this, whatever problem with Sony didn't happen, would you have continued to play Gabe beyond Syphon Filter 3, like to the end?
Oh yeah, you bet. I loved it. Well, if it's recorded in California, the money has to be right. I live in Nebraska right now. I mean Iowa.
Okay. What if it's even a small cameo? I mean, John Garvin and Ben Studio. By the way, this studio, it was called Eidetic. It's now called Ben Studio. They're making another game called Days Gone, and they might continue with it. So, would you be interested to appear in a small?
Yeah, sure, I do it. I'm retired now, so I got a lot of free time. Like I say, I played all my games all the way to the end, didn't I? When I did the first one, I didn't have a PlayStation. They gave me a free copy of the disc, so I had to go out and buy a PlayStation. Oh yeah, I played it all the way through. I even had to go buy one of those books to figure things out. I mean, I'm into playing the PlayStation 4 right now. My wife and I, when we got married, she brought a game platform from everything into the relationship.
That was actually one of the questions we were going to ask you. Have you ever played any Syphon Filter? So I'll move to another one. Since you have played them, which Syphon Filter do you love the most?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm kind of torn between 1 and 2. I would have to say 1 because that was the first one. I mean, I did appreciate the other 2, and number 2, I did that nationwide commercial. So the Taser. Let's try the Taser. Matter of fact, my wife just got her concealed carry weapon permit, and so I went out and bought her a Taser, and I went into that voice. Here, honey, try the Taser. I was living there in California. I've been living there most of my life. It was always between there or Prescott, Arizona, where my dad was born. And my parents had passed away, and I really had nothing keeping me there. My brother had moved out to Omaha, and I was talking to him on the phone one day, and I was telling him how I was making, $30 an hour, and I could barely afford $800 a month for one room in a 4-bedroom house. And he tells me, bro, I'm paying $800 a month for a 4-bedroom house. Let's go check this out. I mean, I came out here and I wanted a job because of every job I've had. I've owned my own business. I've been upper management in several companies. I came out here and I just wanted a job that had nothing. So I became a dishwasher for 2 days a week. And with that money alone, I bought my own house, my first one. So not going to California.
Well, it's good to know that you're doing well.
Oh yeah, I mean, everything's fine. I have no complaints. It's pretty bad when you are shopping on Amazon and you're looking at things. It's like, well, do I want that? I don't need that. I should see if my niece still has the cardboard display for the game that was used in stores, because I got one of those from the crew at 989 and gave it to her. It's that big cardboard display. It has the I think it was for number 2. I'll have to see if she has it, because I know she asked for it, and it's like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
I'm glad to hear that you played the games and that you loved doing the voice, and you not just like did the voice and went moved on. You still love it, and it feels good to hear that from you.
No, yeah, still. I mean, we've got them. We still got them. We play it. We can put them on the PlayStation 2. They'll play there, and actually, Sony's been remastering a lot of the games. I just keep looking for Syphon Filter. You guys keep in touch too, okay? You don't gotta be strangers. Now, did you guys hear? I want to say it was back. I want to say around 06 or 07, and that really sounds like I'm an old guy. But somebody was thinking about doing a live action motion picture of Syphon Filter. I heard about it. I didn't hear anything else aside from, this is what's they're thinking about doing this. Mostly my source was on stuff like that was from my friend who was a casting agent.
Which company was going to do it?
No, I don't. It was still a small company they'd have to approach like, a major production company and do it that way. I heard it was going to be a excuse me, a TV show, live action motion picture, and then an animated motion picture. She actually asked me if I would be interested in doing any of that. Sure.
It makes sense, because at some point there was a comic book about Syphon Filter. We saw like 2 pages of it, but it never got released fully.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had heard about that too, but I'd never seen one.
By the way, do you know the ending to the last game, the last event of the series?
No, I don't. But from reading, I understand I die.
Yeah, I wrote a fan fiction, like an intro of a fan fiction with a similar idea, but Gabe Logan is not like on a wheelchair. Richard Ham said he's going to be on a wheelchair, but I had him like fully recovered and Leon taking over for some time, and then Gabe Logan comes back. But you know, Teresa, if you remember in Syphon Filter 2, she presumably died, and we see her grave and a funeral and everything, but then she came back. So Gabe Logan, we don't. I don't want to spoil it for you, but in general, we don't see like the full events. It's like implied that he is maybe gonna die, and the game ends. That's it.
Maybe I didn't die. Maybe I just moved out to the Midwest and kind of retired.
I'd like to think so. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm kind of a writer. I got to get brushed up on the recent events regarding Logan, but maybe I could put something together. Yeah, let me do some let me do some reading and find out what happened and all that, and let me see what I can put a draft together.
Well, if you can reach to us. Actually, we'll reach to you like after this this call. Maybe we can like show you how to play the later games on your, if you have a laptop or a PC or even PlayStation 3.
I have a PlayStation 3. I have the PlayStation Portable.
Maybe you can see the story and maybe you give us the best fan fiction, the best ending, the best continuation.
All right, yeah, I'll do that. Like I said, I have every gaming station known to mankind here.
Awesome.
We have two PlayStation 4s, so my wife and I can play together. We have our headsets on, and you know, I've been married for 5 years now, and a good builder of your relationship is the first person shooter games. We really built, you really like playing Sniper Elite 4, for example. We're looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Oh, and then something else I wanted to tell you guys. I actually did a voiceover for a Spider-Man game, or not Spider-Man, Captain America game that was coming out. I actually met Stan Lee. I did the voice of Red Skull. I got paid for it, but it never came out. It never came out, so...
We would have found you sooner.
A friend of mine had heard about this and put me in touch with some people, and it's like, sure. And then I had to drive down to L.A., so, okay, whatever. But then I met Stan Lee and all those guys, and I did the part, and it sounded like it was good. I think I lost funding early on. I know I was actually going to get to play a bad guy. What
are you playing at the moment?
I'm playing Breakpoint, Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon. Yeah. I heard good things about it.
I like it. It's very good. I also have the Wildlands version too, but I like the Breakpoint.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's really, it is the voice of Gabe Logan, but like I said, it's the cool car commercial voice. It'll make you buy anything. I mean, the 1987 Yugo goes from 0 to 60 in 4 days.
That's
4
pretty
days,
good.
I gotta have that car.
Thank you, John. We really appreciate you coming and talking with us.
Well, thank you for letting me take a trip down memory lane here. All right, here's to the rebirth of Gabe Logan. By the way, my wife, I got married 5 years ago. She's much younger than I am by about 27 years, and we've talked about baby names. And one of the boys will be Gabriel. She says it's for the Archangel. Yeah, no, it's not.
I like it.
Well, one of the boy names is going to be Eli, and she wants the middle name of James. And I said, okay, I agree to James because you won't give me Tiberius. But yeah, you guys stay in touch. If you have any questions, whatever, shoot me a note on Skype or on Facebook or however you get in touch with me. Have a good night and stay safe, all right?
Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.